looking for it to break over $1. It's kind of looking like maybe it's not going to happen. Okay. Uh, so yeah, so you look at Nvidia there on the chart, and you have this low. Compare pivots. You know, when judging relative strength, you have this. Now, I could probably make that a little bit more detailed. You have this. So that right here, this is the shape that you want to judge the strength of other stocks by. And that also means, and this is, how complicated I look at things. This is like a level that you can either try and achieve now or aspire to. But when you pull up a stock, let's say, I don't know, ANF. Yeah, maybe ANF, and that would line up with something like uh, slightly differently, obviously. But uh, when you pull up a stock, my point here is when you pull up a stock and you're trying to judge whether or not you should like it for long, for a long, make sure you don't judge that book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? In other words, the content of that book, analogy here, is this, you know, that's good. It's a good stock. Got beaten up just like everybody else got beaten up. The dragons came out and everybody ran indoors. They all did. Everybody did. And they had to stay indoors for a couple months there, however long that was. So the stocks, uh, mm, most of its health should be judged by how it, was before that. So that's kind of it's difficult to do. You pull up a chart like Empower or something, and you have to judge it without judging a problematic right side. I don't know. That's not a good one. Maybe Apple. I don't know. To pull up here. There you go. Google. Hammered. But that is not to say that then that's a good entry and that this is a good time that Google's now going to go strong from here. Because all you're trying to say now is that yes, this is a green check mark for stock that's moving up and up and up and up and up and looking beautiful, as far as the chart goes. And I wanted to get in on a pullback and get a PCS, and then there you go. Because every pullback is going to be met with eventually it turning around and continuing. So that's a green check mark. But I'm saying that's not to say that now what you do is you go in surgically and look at how did it react on the right side, relatively strength speaking, and does that individually here on the right side give you a picture of something that's acting strong right now? Because you're still waiting for an entry signal on anything you find that has a great chart. Anything that has a healthy chart still must be qualified by some kind of a how are things at the moment, right? And those are two separate things you have to pull out of the chart. One, how's it been? And then discount the current whatever's going on. And then two, if that's good, then two, how is it currently? And so I can see, like, for instance, here on Google, this was a great example. I can see that Google shit. Like we've got a lower low pivot there, a lower low pivot there, and a lower low pivot there. We're barely back on the bounce off the bottom there, to the second pivot low. And if you just memorize the shape from the market says, that's we're better than that. It's almost 50% retraced off, and this low was supposed to be much lower and more rebounded from. And Google had looked like this. It was like that. So that's right side weakness from Google. This is strength on the market. The market is the market. And then you can also sometimes compare it to other stocks that are strong. Like I know I told you Netflix, I noticed a strength. Look at Netflix. Do you see what I'm saying on Netflix, you guys? Like, so in the one respect, you have to judge Netflix on how has it been, and that's all of this, like I was just saying. And then you got to go, okay, how did it respond to the market top? It actually did well, could only hold on as much as it could, and only had a straight one pivot down. In that same period, we were getting down, 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 and then up. So Netflix is super strong. It's like one of the strongest stocks on the stock market right now in the bigger caps. And then Ben said Nucor. Nucor is a great example of fast right side reclaim. Yeah. But the problem is now, if you really, really zoom up and you're examining all of the relative strength, now it's all fucked up. Now it's having bad strength the last 2 days. So that calls it into question and makes it not a signal. For me, I'd be very concerned. Like it drops, like you sort of like narrow, 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 narrow until you get all green lights, and then you're like, bam, let's go. And here we have, ooh, looks good long term. Ooh, great medium term. Like considering medium term might be like I don't know, let's call it even short term. Ooh, great short term. And then, hmm, questionable immediate term, questionable right now. So what are you going to do? I wouldn't touch it if it's questionable right now. You see what I'm saying? Because right now matters the most, you know. So so you see what I mean? So that's now how you're gonna have to pick your stocks. And I can teach you to fish, and that's the best thing I can do. Oh, my headphones are running out of batteries. Um, and that's the best thing I can do in life, as a teacher of the stock trading stuff, or anything that I can teach you guys, is teach you how to fish, is teach you how to think about it yourself. Because I mean that's a whole different debate. It's a discussion, which is all about, and I'm not going to do it right now, which is all about people blindly following alerts, that versus making your own decisions in life, you know. And so Microsoft, that's something you're interested in. I mean, even without looking at Microsoft's chart, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, it's got a very strong foothold in the AI space, which is thematically like was and or is the leading technology right now moving forward. It's the invention of the computer in 1980. It just that just came around. Personal computer computing, like, well, I mean, it's exploding from like these big giant machines in a room to personal computing, and then that kind of didn't even settle in until 5 years ago. So that was what, 20, 40 years. 40 years it took for that technology, um, innovation to fully develop all of its branches and leaves and grow into a full grown solid oak and be done with all growth. The growth is, I mean, that's kind of what are they going to do? Next could be quantum computers, but that's kind of a different technology. It's kind of a different thing. The idea that that technology can be pushed out to uh, retail, to personal level, that was the idea, and that happened. And then it's gotten to the point now where you don't need a new computer every year. Back then, you did, right? And during the wave, you did. Then that parabolic curve, it's steadied off. So we're at the beginning of that with AI. Yeah, we're at the beginning of that parabolic curve with AI. And I mean, it may get even more intense in 10 or 20 years. Like it might go through a dot-com boom, inside of AI. We don't know see, dot-com was an application inside of personal computing. Like, in other words, personal computing enabled dot-com. And it's sort of like, virtual reality is a technology that's inside another technology, And so there's going to be other technologies we don't know about, second waves technologies born inside of the other technology, just like the internet, .com, the whole concept there of business, doing business on the internet. Like the .com boom was like, holy shit, that's actually something amazing. You mean people don't have to come to my brick and mortar store? I mean, it was this total transformation, a technology. You got to do business reaching in through electronics and out onto the screens of everyone who just previously adopted a previous technology, which was that they would have a personal computer in their house. You got to reach through with your hand to them. That was a new thing, that was a technological revolution in business inside of the wrapper of this other technology. So that's going to happen with AI as well. There's going to be other transformations that happen that are going to come. We have lots of very interesting, but you have to be able to recognize those things when they come. That's a whole other thing. Like there was a lady that lived next door to me in Texas, and she had bought Apple when it was like $13 back in the 80s and held her whole life, and she's still holding, and she's a multimillionaire, obviously. And she was young then. Now she's, our ages and everything. So, well, she's a little older than me. So, what she does though is that she continues to do that. She got hooked. She got addicted to putting money into innovative companies. And so what she does is she specializes in that, in thinking about that. And she goes to, those electronics conferences and different conferences, expos, really is the better word for it, expos, where where companies and new companies uh, expose. What's expo stand for again? Exposition. They exposition their, you know, uh, amazing ideas, and then she will privately invest in them. She'll approach them as a private investor to, you know, buy equity in their company. It's pretty cool. Uh, or if they're publicly listed, she'll get the shares early on. But that's, it's a thing, and you should always be aware of that. But for trading, you just need to be able to recognize what is the bad gimmick theme du jour, and they last. Mm, it's almost like a penny stocking framework. They last like an initial week or two pump, and then this excess few months, and so they can last a couple of months, but then of course that's comes in different waves, but they rotate in and out. And so right now, I think we're almost completely all out of the AI sizzle, if you will. And I don't know if they have an AI ETF. Let's see. Art artificial intelligence. Okay, atrophied intelligence, artificial intelligence. No, I'm looking for ETF. Oh, no, can't really find an ETF for that. AI, and you can't really search for just AI like that. Oh, okay, I see why. Because I click stocks, not funds. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Global artificial intelligence. Okay, AIQ. That looks the same fucking same, and that's not how it should look. Um, Premium income themes, airlines. That's cool. There's an airline theme. Um, it should the airline industry suddenly become transforming, that would be one you want to get on top of. Like the minute that airlines suddenly make a huge transformation, I don't know what that is. Maybe, and this could be in 100 years, but they start adopting rocket technology or space trips or something, that as a theme is going to fucking take off, right? And it's going to, well, no pun intended. You get it? So anyway, but let me show you if we pull up an AI fund, Wisdom Tree AI Enhanced Value Fund, just just a broad AI fund. AI, oh, maybe this is the one where I could type artificial. Artificial. That's with robotics, themes, generative artificial intelligence. That's pretty thematically on point, I'd say. Let's see. Yeah, see. And then they launched it back there, and then yeah, it went from 25 to, well, 33, not even that much, but we've hit a low and we're pulling back and we're kind of at the end of that arc. And you got to be saying to yourself, are you kidding? Like this AI thing's just starting. Well, they noticed recently that the AI thing is not really bringing in the profits that they hoped. And so it's not quite a positive return on, energy spent, on money spent. Uh, and it's not having a promising result on the bottom line. And so it's more going to be more difficult to deploy capital in that space because the return on it might be a little bit steeper. So that's great, for people who want to invest in AI stuff. They get to play a nice long shot that's going to take a while, and then they'll probably be greatly rewarded in 3, 5, 7 years. But in the interim, that theme is faded, and that's the way these things go. Is I guess my point. And there's other things that come in, like I just been noticing that cannabis has been kind of perking up the last 3 weeks, and there's been some things going on there. And then just the other day, we had some oil perking up, and so Indo and Husa and all these other stocks started to move along with them. Now you've got inflation maybe improving, so that could start to trigger some other themes and help feed some other themes. So just watch out, for those themes, those thematic moments, and they will help you understand a little bit more also in a bigger perspective. But you always got to start kind of with the big perspective. What's best to get into? Like Netflix for me, I have no idea why it's so strong lately. Because in my mind, I mean, I'd have to dig deeper, but in my mind, it's a video on demand streaming service. Why is it so much stronger than everything else right now? Than ever before or something. It's quite strong recently. This right side is very strong. What's going on there? What is the growth opportunity that's driving the price up? Because a value stock with no growth opportunity like AT&T goes sideways. Yeah, it goes up and down and it goes up and down, it goes up and down. But goes sideways, and it never really exhibits a stronger recent move than the markets, you know. And yet Netflix is. So I don't know what's going on there. Other people do apparently. Um, the growth prospect is strong with this one. So when you're looking for stocks to PCS to get a put credit spread in, these are things to think about. So you said Microsoft. So we pull up Microsoft, and Microsoft looks kind of weak right now. Wouldn't mind seeing it act a bit more strong, because if it's weak, okay, there's the market. The market's opening. I got to watch my position over on ALBT because it could just flush out. ALBT over here. But what I was saying about Microsoft was DGLY with possible trade here. DGLY, we'll have to see how it finishes off the moment. 135, about 15 cents of risk, maybe more. 115 stop, 35 cents of risk on DGLY if it puts in a strong burst minute. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flatten ALBT. There's just a minor dip from my entry pre-market, and look at that. Right, the minute I flatten it, it starts turning around. You'll know it. To finish up what I was saying on Microsoft is you might want to wait. Like, if it's going to be showing a weak signature even over the last 5 days, Microsoft, then you know you'd have to think that if the market improved and it didn't help Microsoft, that Microsoft's still in some kind of a pullback slump. It's still under the cloud of whatever pulled it back. Okay, DGLY failed out. I never did get a signaled entry on that. ALBT did not follow through. And now let's go look at the market and see how the market's reacting. Market's reacting positive to I'm getting the squawk in my ear. Holy crap. Like all these names. Just imagine, like, hundreds of tickers being yelled in your ears. What was I saying? The market's strong. Okay, the market's having a good positive reaction. Let's see what the market looks like, by the way, in the on the daily. Now, what I'm hoping for, but it might not happen today. I thought it would with a better reaction, but what I'm hoping for on the market is for the volume today to be greater than the prior red volume before it. This one here, it's hard to see right now because it's amplified. In a little bit it'll be more normalized. Getting a strong pullback on W key. I'm gonna flatten out of that. I had a position there. Getting some strong pullback on ELWS. I got a position there. Everything else is going fine though. So okay, we had a strong day on ELWS yesterday. Kind of was hoping for some continued strength today, but off of the openings, not really happening. All right, let's see. What are some other things going on here? Yeah, we got Buru. I was looking at that. Okay, it failed out at the open. CDT had a pretty fadey pop pre-market. DGLY, which is that one that I was looking at. Oh, DGLY has taken off. Might even be going into a halt. What do I want to get there? Okay, I'm getting into DGLY with a risk to stop of about 120, $1.20. So 40 cents risk to stop. And I'm gonna see where that goes today. Those this is DGLY. Those are potentially swing trades, penny stock swing trades, the way we showed in the framework. But it can be interesting to get into them on the day of as a day trade. And either you get a lot of profit that day and or you're hitting taking profits throughout the move, or you get all out and that was it. Otherwise, you're in at a better cost average than getting in towards the end of the day on something that you might want to grab or the end of the day. And then it'll have some padding going into potential follow through the next day of the pattern. Yeah, there it goes. We're getting move. Woo, nice move up there. Oh, nice. I got my first initial 5% exit at 175 there, which was the high. Now going into my port, I just want to double check how everything's doing. Ooh, the market is doing a bit of an about face right now. That's interesting, but not on my put credit spreads. They're all doing all right, even on the pullback. Let's see, is anything not doing well? No, not really. Everything's doing okay. And then DGLY. Okay, so we're going to keep DGLY up. Oh, today could potentially be a day as things settle in with Starbucks and Chipotle. There could be potential opportunities there as well. I'm not looking at them. I don't know this for a fact. Okay. Starbucks and Chipotle could be potential opportunities for either, a bearish trade, but probably for bullish trades, put credit spreads. I would think that Chipotle is going to be more beat up for a while and wounded, and Starbucks is going to be energized. I could see a put credit spread working kind of on both, considering that. All right, there's DGLY. So I want to keep that on the radar on the multi-watch here while we check out some other tickers. DGLY serve. Nope, that's pulling back. NXPL. It literally just squawked that in my ear, but it's also on our list over here. The volume's a little bit too sketch on that. ALBT still not looking great. TJYK, and then you have edible. And then edible. And we're less than 50%. You guys always, if you're doing the put credit spreading or the high growth stock trading, swing trading, which in case you don't know what that is, that would be growth companies. And we like to stick with ones that are a bit more liquid. So they got to be at least 2 billion market cap or more for swing trading. Well, those opportunities, if you look at these 2 meters here, they give you a good idea of how are things flowing off of the open, because this is change from open, the top 100 picks in that space in on 2 different metrics, screening criteria between this one and that one. And you can see they're about 40% bullish, so 60% bearish off of the open. So and that's growth. Sometimes value, you might look at the S&P 500 and see it's doing fine, and you're like, but everything's looking bad here, and that's because growth is QQQ, is innovation, and S&P 500 has more value in industrials in it, and even staples and defensives and the like. So you don't want to necessarily get thrown by that. Growth is the most important metrics you want to follow as a trader, because it represents where any price improvement is really truly coming from. Okay, so see, now they've kind of equalized and they're almost at a 50-50 point, those 2 meters, if you will. You can always be watching those every morning on my live stream to get a good judgment of the direction while I'm talking about something else or whatever. That can help you see, is today a day to be, is today a strong bullish day in growth, or a weak day, or a neutral day? So far, it's been weak/neutral. which is a little bit surprising because, we had the CPI numbers, and the CPI numbers were good. And yet they were taken with a lot of grain of salt. And we saw a lot of different assets moving in different directions, such as gold and Bitcoin and the dollar on those numbers. So today's going to be kind of a digestive day, at least for the first half an hour to hour here, it looks like. All right, edible. Okay, other names to look at. QFin. DGLY still doing its thing. QFin, the volume is too thin. Or penny stocking trading needs into. I gotta see this one. It does qualify. Is this OTC? Why is it so weak pre-market? Oh, this was earnings based. Okay, never mind. I don't want that one. Good morning, Marcus. CDTC Upola. OGI. Nope. OGI. No. Okay, yeah, market's finding a little settle-in point there. Okay, running back through my holdings to see if anything's doing anything interesting. I find too interesting. Yeah. So far right after the open, it's kind of a not much of anything happening yet on anything. Oh, NSAV. NSAV. This was a position I got in yesterday, possibly too small. A penny stock. Looks like it's following through. NSAV. This one. What is this? Oh, delayed data. OTC in my trading view has delayed data. What does it say here? Till that data is delayed. Market opens in 2 minutes, so it's delayed by 15 minutes. So we've been open for 13 minutes already. Right, you're in the airport in Charlotte? All right, okay. But yeah, actually, the price right now is 6.659, so it's like right here. So NSAV has moved up a little bit. And this was I think an alert yesterday. Looking at this as a penny stocking opportunity, probably Michael and Randy have attended those classes mostly, but any of you can answer. Looking at this pop over here on the right side, what do you think? Qualifies or doesn't qualify in the penny stocking land? Qualifies, says Randy. I would say kind of doesn't qualify, but yes, it does. Yeah, the problem is there's just no volume. And so it qualifies for a bounce. It qualified previously, yes, for sure. It's definitely backside of the trade now. That's the issue, and even after earnings. And this is maybe a bounce trade. I know, but I got in. Uh, but in retrospect, hey, sometimes, I was moving fast on the market yesterday, and it looked like something that had a lot of potential. Oh, I know why I got in. It was, I think yesterday this move happened near the close of market, and this is an OTC stock. And that can sometimes mean that not everybody got to get in on the stock uh, during the day, like you would have wanted to. And then OTC doesn't trade in extended hours. OTC has no extended hours trading, so it's going to open today, and then the idea is that it continues whatever the move that just started at the end of the day uh, on it. So I got in on that basis on it, and so I'm up 21%. So you can't complain. But yeah, it shouldn't qualify. It should not qualify um, as penny stock entry on the daily chart there. You can see it just opened and it's showing the trading. Dell, all right, but I gotta look at, you're considering for a put credit spread. I gotta look at my other chart. Um, no, I don't even know how you see that as possible after everything I just showed you this morning. Like, what on earth are you thinking? Like, yes, it has a pretty decent health before the top on the market, but after the top on the market, it's reacted pretty strongly negative to things. Kind of acting like a pussy. Cat. So where's the strength? It got scared as shit over the last, pullback. Compare that to Netflix, how it's right side. I'm telling you, you really need to look at the current strength of something. We were just going over that. Look at Netflix, how it's reacted on the right side there, regardless of the left side. Compare that to Dell. This is not doing even as good as the market. The market has recovered off of that bounce much better than Dell. So no, you'd be getting a put credit spread on something that still has bearish vibes, bearish recent vibes. Like, you know, like a strong, like a hero, like a firefighter or something. Um, if there's a chemical spill and the whole building's on fire, uh, just because they're a strong firefighter doesn't mean you go in. You say, you know what? This situation right now, I cannot, uh, you know, uh, I would die. I would be mortally wounded, right? So the strong man waits, or vice versa, to see this as Dell is not that strong man. Dell is someone still hiding while the rest of the market is like, yeah, baby. And Dell's like over in the corner, like, I don't know. That's really what it's more like. You know what I'm saying? So, but and then Netflix is like, he doesn't even know. It doesn't even know other people exist. It's like alpha male on top of, in its own, running its own country, you know? So, it's like fucking knocking over people. It's not even, doesn't even know, like you could coexist with Netflix and Netflix wouldn't even know you existed. It's like, I'm going to the moon, excuse me, you know? So, but then you look at Dell and it looks like it's shivering in its fucking boots. And then what was that other one? Nucor? Oh, see, look at Nucor. Super strong reaction today. There you go. There's your answer. You missed it already. Frankly, Nucor is a super strong entry when it went over this red candle from yesterday at 1283. Well, it's only at 12.97 right now. It's 14 cents higher, but that completes and confirms entry signal of fast right side reclaim on healthy stock with strong recent signature. Do you see? Is green check, green check, green check, green check. In. Now, Ben, that said, it doesn't mean getting shares on that will be a good idea. It doesn't mean getting options on that would be a good idea, but a credit spread would work. And the reason why I say that is because not a good idea on the other things is because it might pull back and go up. It might have a rough way of getting to wherever it's getting to, and it's going to get there. But nothing's going to beat the put credit spread and making sure that you're sort of protected along the journey. Now, if you're just getting in for a day, for a flip or a scalp, a day trade, okay, that's different. But if you're trying to put on a swing trade or make that return on capital on a put credit spread, this is I can't think of anything better. No, I can't think of anything better. That's exactly right. And Nucor, really nice. Oh well, maybe Netflix. Let's see. I mean, Nucor and Netflix are like battling for territory on the moon right now when it comes to relative strength. And if you're not in Netflix already, like what the hell? Yeah, incredible. New core. So I'll be getting new core. I'm gonna go though. I gotta take my first break here, and the battery is going beep beep in my headphones. I'm about to get cut off, I think. So I'll see you back in the group. I'll let you know what I get on new core, but just you guys know how to fish. If you can figure out how to get the 20 delta, 45 DTE roughly on new core, there you put credit spread, and you've learned how to do that this year. Uh, you know, looks excellent, depending on actually the option liquidity. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll see you back in the group.